Now, is it true that when Giannis was a free agent, did you want to try something? Because I'm reading out, it says like you passed on Giannis.
No, okay, two different things, right? So when Giannis was getting drafted,
Right.
That's
when you passed.
That's when we passed, right? Because we had Dirk, and this was like 2012, I think it was, or 2013, and we would just won the championship 2 years ago. And so some of our people wanted to go for Giannis.
Okay.
I wanted to trade down, and we ended up getting Shane Larkin, not because so much of Shane, who could play, but we needed that cap room to go out and try to sign somebody to propel Dirk. We wanted to go for the gold again.
Get another one.
Right, we wanted to get another one. So, but it's just the way it worked out. And had we gotten Giannis, we'd never gotten Luka.
Wow. Yeah. So how do you do that, Mark? Because you're like, okay, there's this guy here, and we have a superstar already on the team, and we're trying to maximize because he's not going to play another 10 years.
Right.
So we want to maximize this. So how do you really determine? Because you look at y'all like, damn, if we don't have you, Luke.
But remember, so Giannis coming out, there were like, I vividly remember, there were 2 VHS tapes of him playing in the Greek league. That was all they had to show me. Like the old school tapes, if you went into a yard sale, right, and you find these tapes, when it's got lines and everything, and it looks like someone's mom shot it.
Yeah.
That's what it was, right? And look, he got drafted at 13, I think, or something like that. And so, it wasn't like every other team knew about it either.
Correct.
But, you have to respect Dirk. You have to respect what he's done for us. And I already know, like, Dirk, if we had just, instead of going for it in free agency, if we had just said, okay, this rookie's going to be great, it would be like, what a shit show. With all love, right? Because Dirk's all love. But, just out of respect to Dirk, it was my final decision. And we went for it. And we didn't get the free agents we wanted, but that was the plan.
Has the buck always stopped on Mark Cuban's day?
Yeah, it's got to, right? It was my team, it was my responsibility, my final decisions for better or worse.
Right. Because I heard Jerry says, no one can run the Cowboys better than I can as a GM. Is that how you feel?
No, there's probably a lot of people who can run it better. And obviously, someone's going to get the chance now. But, but Jerry, Jerry and I had, and the difference is, between us is Jerry saw the whole thing as a business. Right. And when he talks about running this thing as a business and as a football team, he's right. And they've gone 12-5 like 3 straight years, right? So it's not like they suck, right?
Correct.
And you know how hard it is to get over the hump.
Absolutely.
Right? It takes some luck, and you're playing against Mahomes, who's like the Michael Jordan in some respects of quarterbacks. Then it was Brady before him, right? And so I'm not disagreeing with Jerry. I just think you got to give more credit to luck, because luck has more impact than probably anything I could do or anything Jerry can do.
Wow. Okay. So have you had conversations with Jerry about, Jerry, I don't know, maybe you let such and such, maybe it's a different eye.
No, I've had conversations with him in the past, but not about players, right? Because I don't know shit about football players. When it comes, I got my own fantasy football stuff, and my son Jake is just all about fantasy football, right? But yeah, you've got to live it to make those kind of decisions. But I've talked to him in the past about coaching decisions and stuff, but that was probably 10 years ago.
Okay. This is Michael Finley, Grant Williams, they tell the story, but I want to get to Luka. I believe if Luka were to train in the offseason and get himself in tip-top shape, I don't think Luka realized he's great. I'm talking about he's transcendent, he's historically great, but I don't think Luka realized how great he can be.
Yeah. Look, we all mature as we get older, right? And this going into a 6th year, he learned what it takes to get to the finals for the first time. And that tells you a lot. It's like with Dirk, when we lost in 2006 in the finals to Miami, Dirk's attitude changed completely. Wow. Yeah, Dirk just became a different human in terms of preparation. Literally no alcohol during the season, which wasn't how we used to be. Trust me. No sweets, right? No fried food during the season. Just complete about face on how he approached his profession. And Luka's smart like that too. Now, I haven't talked to him this offseason about all that kind of stuff. What's that?
What about the hookah?
Hey, let me just tell you this. I know one guy who's about 7 foot and it is a Hall of Famer who introduced me to hookah.
Yeah.
Right. The one time I've tried it, and he ain't slowing down, and he's like 37. So I'm not going to judge there.
Okay.
What do you think about hookah?
I have never tried it.
Yo, you never have?
Yeah.
I've done it once, twice.
You like it?
Nah, no. If I've only done it twice, that tells you
That tells you
everything.
don't
Yeah.
like it. So tell us the story about Grant Williams. You signed him in free agent from the Celtics. And I guess Michael Finley tells the story that he's trash talking Luka in practice.
Yeah.
Were you there that day?
I wasn't there that day, but I heard all the stories, obviously.
So what happened to the best? What was relayed to you?
Oh, Grant was trying to define himself. Grant's a great guy, right? I still keep in touch with him. I like him a lot. And he was trying to define his role with the Mavericks. He wasn't going to be the best player, but he was going to be a role player that had to fit in, made threes, but he was kind of like the enforcer. And he also wanted to be kind of the adult on the court, and with Luka, it just didn't go over well at all. When you start trash talking Luka,
right,
that's never going to end well. Like if I've trash talked him like in fun, he gives me the stink eye. You are not doing that to Luka, and Grant found out the hard way.
How did Dirk, when you said, because like you said, Luka's going into his 6th season. Dirk played 20 seasons with you, the only franchise that he's ever played with. You say, yeah, right now, Luka's the best player. You really believe that right now that he's a better player than Dirk's ever been?
Yeah. I mean, Dirk, remember, the league has changed.
Right.
And Dirk, the skills he brought, and even more than his skills, the mindset. Dirk is mentally tougher than any human I've ever met in my life. Whether it's dealing with pain, because better than anybody, right? It's what you do off the court.
Correct.
What you do off the field that defines what you do. If you don't do it off, mentally, physically, intellectually, right? Learning all the things you need to do, your football IQ, your basketball IQ, doesn't matter how talented you are, right? We've both seen talented guys just run right through it, flame out in a minute. And so, Dirk had that mindset that was stronger than maybe anybody other than Michael Jordan.
Right.
And that's, Luka, on the other hand, in terms of actual skill and killer instinct, Luka can handle the ball. Dirk needed somebody to get him the ball. That's the only reason, right? If Dirk came out now, right, and he'd have the skills and the handles, right? Because, like kids today, they watch on Instagram, they watch on TikTok, all the drills and all the handles, and they see Steph and they see Luka and Kyrie. And so they all emulate. Dirk would have been out with all those handles, and
that'd have been unfair.
A whole different.
So basically, he's been Kevin Durant before Kevin Durant.
For sure.
Kevin Durant got handles that can shoot the ball. They're 7 foot tall, can shoot the ball like Dirk. So basically, he'd have been KD before KD.
He would have been, right? And then some. And that's no disrespect to KD,
right?
Who was that first person to get me that hookah?
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party, because we like to do something before 2 something.